The great Arnold Palmer once said that the road to success is always under construction. This relates to all aspects of life. Agriculture is no exception. It seems like there are many roads of Idaho agriculture that could lead to success. The road to the feed store to pick up finisher for that grand champion pig. The road to the milk processing plant, where a dairyman's hard-earned product will be delivered. The road to the FSA office to report your crop acreage. At the crossroads, you will find a bank where you can apply for a loan to start your meat goat operation. There is the road to the lab to pick up the results of a milk test, and the road to the Farm Bureau office to insure your home and farm. There is the road to the U.S. Capitol, passing bills that affect the many roads of Idaho agriculture. This road is extremely critical because these bills help resolve many of the conflicts in agriculture today, such as animal rights, pesticide use, and immigration reform. Wait, can it be? Is it possible that this long and bumpy road towards immigration reform can finally be resolved and provide relief for many roads of Idaho agriculture? The road to immigration reform has its fair share of twists and turns. H-2A, H-2B, DAPA, ALRB, USCIS, AWC, visas, green cards. All this immigration language makes me feel like I'm the one on a road in a foreign country. It's no wonder immigration reform has been referred to as a tough nut to crack, broken, and unworkable. Immigration has become not only an important issue in the Magic Valley, but all throughout Idaho and the United States as well. An estimated 12 million illegal immigrants are currently residing in the U.S., and foreigners are constantly taking a road into the country unlawfully. There is widespread agreement between the public and elected officials that immigration reform needs to be solved. Immigration reform is an essential source of labor for many roads of Idaho agriculture, including the sugar beet, grain, and potato industries. These three industries alone employ an average of 22,000 Hispanic farm workers from mid-March through late October. They make up 73% of the work done by hired workers. There are 2,400,000 beef cows in Idaho. Immigration reform is essential to this industry from the start to beginning of the beef. For example, in 2015, a new meat packaging plant owned by J.R. Simplot Company was recently built in Ada County. Along with the economic growth, this also brought the need to fill 600 jobs in that community. The Idaho hay industry relied on immigrant labor to harvest the 1 million acres of Idaho hay produced in 2011. About 85% of the fruits and vegetables sold in the West have been harvested by immigrant workers. With all of the help that they provide to many roads of Idaho agriculture, it is surprising to hear that nearly 1/4 of Idaho's immigrant workers are considered unauthorized. Out of all the immigrant workers in Idaho, nearly 90% of them work in the dairy industry. Idaho's dairy industry consists of 585,000 dairy cows, which equates to over $2.42 billion into our economy. A national survey of dairy farms shows that the damage from losing immigrant labor would extend far beyond the farms, nearly doubling retail milk prices. This would drive the supermarket price of a gallon of milk, which averages about $3.37, to about $6.40. I love milk, but I am not willing to pay over $6 for a gallon. This would cost the total U.S. economy more than $32 billion. A total loss of immigrant labor would mean almost 77,000 fewer people working on dairy farms. This would also mean the loss of over 131,000 jobs outside the farm, resulting in fewer jobs in grain and fertilizer production, veterinary services, milk hauling, and related agricultural service jobs. This amounts to an economic loss of over $11 billion in the United States. This loss will catch many Idahoans off guard, since the vast majority of people who travel on the road to the grocery store to buy milk, beef, or potatoes know little or nothing about where they come from, or how their production impacts workers and communities. How the public perceives Idaho agriculture is important to the agriculturalists. If voters perceive that agriculturalists hire workers who impose large costs on their healthcare or public school systems, these industries will face negative repercussions by voters telling elected officials to enforce stricter boundaries on immigrant labor, adding tension to an already treacherous road. In order to gain community support of immigration reform for many roads of Idaho agriculture, the public must be made aware of the positive value that immigrants have on our society. A national trend shows that as the number of dairy cows in the community increases, so does the Hispanic population. Are communities better off without these new migrant dairy workers? Public opinion is also a bumpy road, as the answer differs depending on who you ask. Immigration reform has real-world implications for many roads of Idaho agriculture. If the number of undocumented workers in Idaho diminishes, many agricultural businesses in many roads of Idaho agriculture will be affected, and some may even go out of business. Since so many Idahoans are removed from agriculture, they are dependent upon a domestic food production system, which depends on immigrant workers. The reality is that immigration reform is a complex issue, and like most major public policy, will take multiple efforts from a variety of stakeholders working together to make things happen. Immigration reform is just like milking cows. It's got to be done, and it will. Success on the road to immigration reform means success for many roads of Idaho agriculture.